What if I told you that one of the most powerful creatures on Earth is smaller than your fingernail? Something you've probably ignored, stepped over, or brushed away without a second thought. But what if I told you that beneath your feet, there's an entire hidden world filled with strategy, intelligence, and survival? Ants may look tiny, almost insignificant, but together they form one of the most advanced societies in nature. They build cities, farm their own food, wage organized wars, and even take slaves. They communicate without words, solve complex problems, and work together with a level of coordination that humans are still trying to understand. And the most shocking part, there are more ants on Earth than humans, by a massive margin. So today, we're diving deep into the hidden world of ants. And trust me, what you're about to learn will completely change how you see them. Let's start with one of the most famous facts about ants, and their strength. Ants can carry up to 50 times their own body weight. Some species can even lift more. To put that into perspective, that's like a human lifting a car with bare hands. But how is this even possible? It all comes down to physics. Because ants are so small, their muscle cross-section is proportionally larger compared to their body mass. This gives them incredible relative strength. In simple terms, the smaller you are, the stronger you can be relative to your size. That's why ants seem almost superhuman. Or should we say, super ant. Now here's where things get really interesting. Ants don't live alone. They live in colonies, highly organized societies that function almost like a single organism. Each colony has different roles. The queen worker ants, soldier ants. The queen's only job is to reproduce. She can lay thousands, even millions of eggs in her lifetime. Workers do everything else, finding food, caring for the young, building the nest. And soldiers? They defend the colony at all costs. What's fascinating is that no single ant is in charge. There's no boss giving orders. Instead, ants communicate using chemicals called pheromones. It's like an invisible language. When one ant finds food, it leaves a chemical trail. Other ants follow that trail and strengthen it, creating a highly efficient system. No leader, no confusion, just pure coordination. Ant communication is one of the most advanced systems in the insect world. They don't talk, they don't make sounds like humans, but they speak through chemistry. Each pheromone carries a specific message. Food is here, danger. Follow me. Some ants can even recognize members of their own colony and instantly attack outsiders. Imagine being able to smell information. That's basically how ants experience the world. Now here's something that sounds almost unbelievable. Some ants are farmers. Leafcutter ants, for example, don't eat the leaves they collect. Instead, they use those leaves to grow fungus, which becomes their food. Yes, ants practice agriculture, and it doesn't stop there. Some ants even farm aphids, tiny insects that produce a sweet liquid. Ants protect them, and in return, they harvest this liquid like milk. This behavior shows something incredible. Ants don't just survive, they manage resources. But the world of ants isn't peaceful. In fact, it can be brutal. Some ant species wage full-scale wars. Entire colonies will attack each other, fighting for territory and resources. Even more shocking, some ants take slaves. Yes, slave-making ants invade other colonies, kidnap their young, and force them to work. It's a dark side of nature that most people never realize. Scientists often describe ant colonies as a superorganism. Why? Because the colony behaves like a single living entity. Each ant is like a cell, working together for survival. Individually, ants are simple, but together, they become incredibly intelligent. This is known as collective intelligence, and it's something humans are still trying to fully understand. Not all ants are the same. In fact, some species are so extreme they sound almost unreal. Take the bullet ant, for example. It has one of the most painful stings in the world. People describe it as feeling like being shot. That's why it's called the bullet ant. Then there's the army ant. They don't build permanent nests. Instead, they move constantly in massive groups, devouring anything in their path. When army ants march, even large animals move out of the way. And then there are fire ants. Small, aggressive, and dangerous. They attack in swarms, and their sting can cause serious reactions in humans. These tiny creatures can be far more dangerous than they look. Ants are not just strong, they are also incredible builders. Some ant colonies create underground cities with complex tunnel systems. These tunnels include storage rooms, nurseries for larvae, ventilation shafts. Yes, ventilation. Certain ants design their nests to control temperature and airflow. It's like natural air conditioning. Scientists have even studied ant nests to improve human architecture, because somehow these tiny insects solve problems that engineers still struggle with. Ants play a massive role in the ecosystem. They help decompose organic material, spread seeds, control pest populations. In some forests, ants are responsible for distributing a huge percentage of plant seeds. Without ants, many ecosystems would collapse. They may be small, but their impact is enormous. Let's compare ants and humans for a moment. There are an estimated 10 quadrillion ants on Earth. That's more than 1 million ants for every single human. And when combined, their total weight is close to or even greater than all humans on the planet. Let that sink in. We might dominate the world technologically, but ants? They dominate it biologically. So what can we learn from ants? A lot more than you might think. Ants teach us teamwork, efficiency, adaptability. They don't rely on one leader. They rely on cooperation. They don't waste resources. They optimize everything, and they don't give up easily. Even when obstacles appear, they find a way around them. In many ways, ants represent the power of unity. Ants are masters of survival. No matter the environment, they find a way to adapt. In deserts, some ants can survive extreme heat by moving incredibly fast, minimizing contact with the ground. In rainforests, others build nests in trees, avoiding floods and predators. And when disaster strikes, ants don't panic. They reorganize, they rebuild, and they keep going. Their ability to adapt is one of the biggest reasons they've survived for over 100 million years. Here's something that feels almost impossible. Some ants can turn their own bodies into living structures. Army ants, for example, can link themselves together to form bridges. Yes, bridges. They use their bodies so other ants can cross gaps safely. And that's not all. They can also create living rafts to survive floods. thousands of ants hold on to each other, floating together like a single unit. It's teamwork on a completely different level. You might think ants just wander around randomly, but that's far from the truth. Ants have impressive navigation skills. Some species use the position of the sun to find their way. Others count their steps to measure distance. Yes, literally counting steps. If their legs are artificially shortened, they miscalculate distance. If their legs are extended, they overshoot their destination. It's like having a built-in GPS without technology. Scientists are still learning from ants. Their behavior has inspired robotics, artificial intelligence traffic systems, because ants solve complex problems with simple rules. Understanding them could help us design smarter systems in the future, from self-driving cars to efficient cities. Ants might hold the answers. So when you look at ants now, you're not just seeing insects, you're seeing engineers, farmers, warriors, and survivors. A civilization hidden in plain sight. And maybe the biggest lesson of all, you don't have to be big to be powerful. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of ants, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who loves nature. Because the more we learn about the small things, the more we understand the big picture.